For today's project, we're going to create this garland that I have on the front porch of the dollhouse. And it's a lot easier than you might think because I started out with a piece of miniature garland from Hobby Lobby and simply recolored it. So stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. Alright, so I was at Hobby Lobby the other day and I found this little, I guess it's a garland. Here's the packaging that came off of it, the front and the back. I'll have photos of this packaging on the blog post. But I thought this would make a really pretty miniature garland with very little work. Now, if your dollhouse where you're going to put it is a dark color, you could just leave this the way it is. But I want to put it on the porch railing on the front of the beachside bungalow, which is white. So if I put this on there white, it's not going to show. So I decided I'm going to use some red and some silver nail polish. I wanted to use green, but I didn't think of this until yesterday afternoon. And when I went down to the dollar store this morning, they had the red, I already had the silver. They had no green nail polish out yet. But what I want to do is paint the snowflakes with the silver, and then I'm going to paint the beads with the red. Initially, like I said, I was thinking about painting both red and silver. Now, rather than trying to use the brush, especially on the beads, I pulled out some of these little disposable micro brushes. I got these on eBay for really cheap. They are 1.5 millimeter, what do they call them? Dental disposable bendable micro applicators is what they call them. And they were really cheap. So I'm going to get set up and then I'll show you how I'm going to start. I won't make you watch me paint the whole thing because it's going to take me a while. And when it's dry, I'll come back, we'll look at it, and then we'll put it on the dollhouse. All right, to prep, I've put just a couple of drops of the red nail polish on. You can see from the size of the brush, this would be very difficult to do any miniature work with. But it will work with these. Now, I've got out 4 of these little small clamps from the dollar store, and I'm not going to start painting right at the end. What I'm going to do, put this one here, probably on a snowflake, and I'm only going to do a short piece at a time. And then when I get, then I'm going to take another clamp and do this. That way, once I get them painted, they will sit still and not lay on my tray. So let's see how this works. And I may not go that whole distance, and my hands are going to shake. Awesome. Now, if you have other small brushes, you could use those. I would not use a brush to paint this and then use it for my acrylic paints, even after cleaning it, I don't think, because I think there will be residue from the nail polish remover if you do that. And I do have a bottle of nail polish remover off to the side in case I spill or get this where I don't want it. So as you can see, it's not going to be difficult, and I'll probably come back and hit the places I missed. And this will be easier when you're not trying to stay under camera. That's always a challenge. I think the hardest part about getting set up for this video was to keep the garland out of my cat, away from my cat, because as soon as I brought it in, he decided it was for him. So be warned about that. So I am going to go ahead, get this section done, and probably another section about the same length. I'll do enough that it will drape nicely on the front of the dollhouse. When the red is done and all dry, I'll come back and we'll do some of the snowflakes together. So I'll be back then. All right, I worked on this off and on yesterday and got the beads done. I went about 1.5 feet total, which should be more than enough. So now we're going to start doing the snowflakes. And I think the secret is working on what is the best way for you to get the nail polish onto these. What way of holding it works best for you. Like I find if I start on this end and work this way, it works better than the other way. It takes a little time, but not a lot. Just work on it in small pieces at a time, short areas. Now I'm going to do the snowflakes in silver. Now you could leave the snowflakes white, but I want them to show up more than they will if they are white. If they're white on that white railing, they're not going to show up. And I'm going to go through and do all of those also. So again, and this may not cover really totally. I'm going to try and be very light on this silver because I don't want to close in those holes. I'm not going for a complete coverage on this. If it fills the holes, I'll go back with a toothpick and pop through. But I'm going to go through, get all of these done. Just a light coat on this. I'll let it dry. And then we'll go over to the dollhouse and I'll show you how I plan to attach it to the front porch railing. So I'll see you then. All right, the nail polish that I colored this with is all dry, and I have trimmed off my garland to the ends of where I painted. I cut off all the parts that weren't painted. Off camera, I also cut 5 pieces of embroidery floss that are way too long, but I wanted to have them long enough that I can use them on camera. Now I'm going to say a couple of things I want to say. First off, if I was doing this not on camera, I would divide these up, each strand of embroidery floss, into 2 chunks of 3 strips, 3 threads, instead of the full 6. But for on-camera use, I think that would be very difficult to hold on to and very difficult for you guys to see because I'm white on white. So when you're doing this at home, you will use less embroidery floss than I am, and it will not show up as much as mine will. Excuse me. The other thing I did off camera is I marked the center of my porch rail and I wanted to do it in between the slots. And as close to the center of the space between the center and the ends on each side. There are, from the center to the post each way, there are 9 upright pieces. So I went over 5 and put another mark. Those are the points that I'm going to attach my garland to. I'm hoping I'll have a little extra garland, but we will see. So, but this is, I painted 18 inches worth. So what I'm going to do is take my embroidery floss, and I just wanted to make this as easy on myself as possible. That's why I went with this long of a piece of embroidery floss, because I'm not going to be able to get up where I can really do this easily with the camera sitting there. And then I'm going to just tie a knot. Luckily, embroidery floss is really cheap, so it doesn't matter if I'm wasting chunks. All right, and I'm not trimming anything till I know that I'm done. All right, so that's the center, and that's approximately the center of the garland. Now, I'm going to go, oh shoot, the cat's trying to climb the tripod. I am going to probably put this about here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snowflakes. And I'm going to do this. Oops, I knocked the bench over. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I thought I was. Oh dear, oh dear. If the camera all of a sudden moves, it's because my cat is trying to climb the tripod. Sorry about that, guys. He's trying to help, I think, and I think you're going to see him in a minute. Yeah, he's helping. I think I'm going to have to put Kitty in the other room. I'll be right back. All right, so that is now tied. I'm going to really quickly, I see my battery is trying to die. I'm going to finish this side, turn the camera off and plug it in, and finish the other side. But what I'm going to do here is basically the same thing. Just tie it around the beads. I'm going to have to get where I can reach this. There will be photos, and I'll come back and show you when it's all done. But I need to get this camera plugged in. So I'll be back when this is charged and I have this all done. All right, here is our garland in place on the dollhouse. Sorry for that interruption between the cat and the battery on my camera dying. I felt it was important to just get this on here. He wasn't going to leave me alone, and then, yeah, you know how that goes. So I love how this looks. I love the colors. You could use any colors. I will talk on the blog a little bit more about why I chose nail polish rather than paint. Quite a bit of thought went into that. But I love this. I think it turned out really cute, and it shows up just enough. And it looks really pretty with the rest of the Christmas things. I will have a picture on the blog post showing the whole porch with the items that I have on there, both from this year and last year. And this will also be in these, I think I'll go ahead and put it in the Santa Claus collection playlist. So you can find all the items that are on the porch for Christmas all in one place. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, be sure and hit the like button. That really will help the channel a lot. So let's really concentrate on smashing that like button for me, please. Also comment, what kinds of things would you like to see in future videos? If you enjoy my content and you haven't subscribed yet, be sure and hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.